second here. All right, and we are recording now. So, hello. We are here for another interview for our first issue of Zesty Mag with Bryan Timbs, aka Jackie Lation.
Good morning.
Hello. Oh, wow, your look is great. Ooh. So, Jackie, or why don't you start by telling us a little bit about yourself, your age, pronouns, and what you do?
Well, my name is Bryan Timbs, as you said, also known as Jackie Lation. I am 29 years old. Well, much like Jujubee, I love long walks on the beach, big dicks, and fried chicken. I'm joking. But for real. I am a makeup artist by trade. I'm also a master cosmetologist and a cosmetology educator. I have been doing drag for a little over a year, since May, but I've been a makeup artist for like 7 years now because I'm old and decrepit. I used to hide all the wrinkles. Anyhow, yeah, that's basically it. Most of what the fun facts about me is I'm one of 9 kids. My dad was a professional wrestler. My mom's a costume designer, and she makes all of my costumes.
Your dad was a professional wrestler. What league did he wrestle in?
He wrestled more in independent territory areas. You can look him up on Google. His name was on Timbs.
And your mom does most of your costumes, you said. I've seen a lot of her work. She does really, really great work. That's awesome. Okay, so what makeup are you wearing today? What are some of your favorite brands?
I'm wearing a little bit of everything. I'm a big experimenting type person, as you can see. I love trying out new brands, new things. Most of what I'm wearing today is MAC. I'm wearing their aqua paints, as well as I'm wearing Sugar Pill. Their cocoa to set the whites I have on my face. And the blacks come from NYX.
Gotta love it. I have a lot of NYX stuff as well. So it's good to know that other makeup artists you actually use something that I use. Let's see, what else? What inspired your look today?
Panic. I'm joking. I'm inspired by color schemes. As you can tell, it's like lots of and then like a pop of something, which is like the pinks and violets. I'm very inspired by abstract art. So when I literally have little to no time to put on my makeup, which unfortunately was like today, I usually do something more abstract and artsy. I can do those faster because I kind of let the brush take me where I wanted to go over my beauty or traditional drag makeup, where I take a little bit more time with.
That's great. So, you being non-binary, or I guess outside the gender-conforming umbrella, would you say that inspires or affects your art in any way?
I would say yes. There are certain aspects of my looks I don't care if I look butch. Of course, I have boobs on, but everyday occasion, I'll wear a full face of glam makeup, and then I'll have a t-shirt on and a pair of cargo shorts, and I look masculine from from the neck down, but from the head up I'm glamour queen. For me, gender doesn't really mean anything. You dress however you want, however you want. If you present high fashion queen or super butch king, as long as you are happy and comfortable with who you are, then it doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks.
That's great. I agree with you. I enjoy being comfortable myself. So you'll usually catch me in something non-gendered, t-shirt and some shorts, something like that. Great. Okay, so you did a series that I have particular interest in. You've done a whole bunch on a whole lot of different looks on mental health. Like you did one for depression. I believe you've done some for anxiety and things like that also. What inspired you to do that?
For me, I myself have dealt with mental illness. I myself have depression. And I can go through some really severe depression spells. Although when you meet me in person, I'm like this giggly little clown. There's a lot where I can be a little bit more on the when I'm at home and when I'm by myself. I can be left to my thoughts. When I'm left to my thoughts, it's not always pleasant. For mental health, I also know a lot of people who, personal to me, that experience different issues with mental health, whether it be PTSD or dissociative identity disorder. And for me, a lot of those are silent. Like, you can tell someone you have depression, but unless you yourself have had depression, you can't see it. Like, people who go, they see me and I went to a group therapy, and they're like, I could never see you being in bed, just sad, like not wanting to get up, because that's not who I think that you are. And that shows that mental health is something that you cannot see. And I wanted to put my art form in a way that you can look and you can kind of see it. Like, this is how it would, if it was something that was like an outside condition, this is how it would look.
Great. So you wanted to give it something visual. I really like that. I really like that. That's awesome. Let's see what else we had here for you. So this series is really on artists and activists, and I would consider you an activist. Would you consider yourself an activist?
I would say yes. I do what I can for those who may not be able to do for themselves, or may not have the same voice that I would have. Even though I am non-binary, I am still white, and I still carry the privilege that most people of other ethnicities do not carry. And when I can, I always ask, and I always look for what other people ask. What do you want me to do as a white person? What can I do to help? And even if it's as little as sharing a link, educating other white people, donating, sharing links, GoFundMes, things like that, I try to do as much as I can to help anyone else, whether I know them or don't, to help them get to where they need to be or get to a place of comfort. Especially, like, I know many people who are looking for like places to stay and stuff like that. So I give them money when I can. I make sure to share links and ask other people, hey, this person needs help. Can we help them?
Community support is really, the backbone of our community in particular. So it's super important to share and be aware of things like that. For show directors, other allies, people in, I guess you could say, positions of power, do you have any suggestions for them as a performer on ways to be more inclusive?
Cast more people of color, especially Black. And especially, for me, what I've noticed is that they'll look for that one Black queen who's like, turns the house down boots, which is perfect, Gucci. But what about that Black king? What about that artsy performer? You should have someone that's a variety of showing that Black art is not only, for me, what I've noticed is that people like to put Black art in a specific box. And there's so many excellent Black drag queens and kings and artists. You shouldn't just hire that one. You should have a variety of casts, a variety of different ethnicities and art backgrounds to show. And if your cast is not only the same people every week or month or whatever, but it's specifically very white, then it might be a problem. And you should uplift those who cannot find work in other places.
That's very good information. Speaking of casts that are normally or predominantly white and have the same people week through week, you were fairly recently involved in, I don't want to call it a scandal, but we can call it a scandal, I guess, with a local pub here who was hosting a show. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
So in West Philadelphia, born and raised, I'm joking. So to make an extremely long story short, one of my friends, his name is, or her name, their name is Bellatrix. Really popular, performs in different areas, absolutely gorgeous, tall as any skyscraper. I swear you have to look up at her every time she's in heels. She's like 10 foot. Anyhow, back off. The finalist for one of the performances, and I was assisting her with it as someone who was butch. That's right, me, butch. Anyhow, but basically there was another performer by the, I guess I can give names, by the name of Robin Springs, whom personally I thought was Latina for the longest time. When I met her, she was never white. She was always more tan or something towards that nature. And then on the finale performance, after my friend stepped off, I helped her get herself cleaned up and straightened up for her the next performance that they were going to do. And I walk out to go check on my friends, and they were like, she just performed in blackface. And I went, what? If you've seen the pictures, you saw she had like the fro wig and she had blackface with like white arms. I was like, So I asked my friend, what do you want? After the whole show was over, she said that she wanted the show to end first, see how the show was going to end, and then we'll go from there. Because she didn't want to call them out in the middle of the show because she didn't want there to be any like, you know, tension or anything like that. I felt like this, you need to pull someone to the side to correct. So we're in after the show's over, and of course Robin Springs won. By executive decision of the show producer, who said that they did not know any better about Robin Springs performing in blackface. So I again asked my friend, what do you want to do about it? My friend said, I'll make a post and I'll talk about it, and I just want your support there when I want your support there and blah, 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 like about what happened and all that good stuff. So I said, sure. And I took a step back because my friend, I said, let me take care of this and I'll have your support for it. And then fun stuff comes to fun. Someone, I don't know who, and we can't prove who, reported my friend's post about the blackface incident, and his or her Facebook was completely shut off. So that's why I was like, no. Obviously, someone is trying to silence you. So it was my turn to take, and I was like, no, we're not gonna let this happen. Because originally people were like, you know what, just let it go, it's whatever. But I'm like, no, not only did someone perform in blackface, they won in blackface. No one called them out. And this has obviously been going on for a while because even her drag mother knew that she was performing in blackface. And the producer known too. I'm like, we're not gonna let racism win yet again. And for the show that's predominantly Caucasian, and you can't find someone of color, you instead hire or let someone in who performs in blackface openly and not even correct her on stage. No, we're not doing this.
Wow. So did you yourself receive any backlash after you came out and spoke about what happened?
Of course, as with anything, when you stand up for something, there's going to be backlash. Parts of it can be valid, parts of it, I'm like, But at the end of the day, the backlash doesn't matter because you're going to get pushback no matter what you do. If you stand up for what you believe is correct and what you say, okay, no, this is not cute, I'm not going to do this, blah, blah, blah. And there's people who are like, you probably will never find work again because because I was very, very new, very new. It was like my third time even stepping on the stage to perform, third or fourth time stepping on stage to perform. And they're like, you probably won't have a career after this. And I was like, it's fine. If I have no career, if everyone bans me from every bar across the United States, I will stand for what I believe is right.
Awesome. So yeah, if we had more people like you out there, I think we'd get a lot more done, especially in entertainment. From what I've seen, your career seems to be doing just fine. In fact, it looks like you're getting more bookings after this. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. So there was that. So being an entertainer or being a performer, just about everyone with the pandemic their income has been slashed into like, I don't know, maybe a tenth of what it was. I know there are digital drag shows. What are some good ways that people can support you, other performers, and things like that during this time when people are not able to do live shows?
So one thing I would definitely suggest is tip your queen. Tip your queens, tip your kings, tip anyone who's in between. If they have entertained you, if they made you giggle, made you gasp, made you go, yes, come through, yes, or whatever, give them $1. $1 goes so much further than what people like to think. Even if you weren't entertained by them, give them, if you had the ability to give someone even just a teensy bit of assistance by just giving them that $1, because drag's not cheap, makeup's not cheap. You could still do dollar store makeup, but you have to buy a lot of dollar store makeup. So tipping people is something that is definitely needed. Share performances, tell your friends, your families, make a date night out of it. You go, because like a really good example is Wild Out, hosted by Modest and Nicole Page Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday. So if you have a Wednesday off, invite your friends, family, whoever likes to watch drag, and watch some internet drag. Watch some really entertaining hosts and performers and give them $1. On top of that is a competition, so you can vote for your favorite, and your favorite wins $100. So
There you go.
you can help, even if you don't have the money to tip them. Voting for your favorite and letting them win that $100 is worth so much more than, I mean, like just like looking at it and watching them.
Right.
Also, I would definitely suggest supporting Black performers. I personally will be okay. I recently gone back to work, so I work a part-time job, and I'm also going to school too. So, and luckily, I have a support that allows me to get the help that I need.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many other performers, trans performers, Black performers, those of color who need help. So, sharing those GoFundMe's, tipping those though I appreciate it, you don't have to tip me. I'd rather you tip the money to those who really, really need it over tipping me, because I'll be okay. It's those other performers who need more help than I do.
Right, and many of them rely on, I mean, this is their only source of income for many of these people. So yeah, definitely hosting watch parties and things like that. I like that idea. That's great. That's great. Let's see, what else have we got here? I believe that covers all of the questions that I had for you. Was there anything that you want to say to the world, or anything you wanted to add?
Black Lives Matters. Trans Black Lives Matter. Support. Do everything that you can to support. Just share, help with any type of expenses that if you have the ability to get extra income, rather than spending it on that McDonald's meal or whatever, give it to those who are really in need. Share links, articles. Do not be afraid to educate other people. Do not be afraid to educate me. I am not perfect. Although I'm beautiful, I'm not perfect. It's unfortunate. So don't be afraid to stand up for what you believe in. Don't be afraid to educate those who should be educated, and do not be afraid to support those who need the support.
That's great. Well, thank you for your closing notes, Jackie, and thank you so much for speaking with us tonight.
Thank you. It's good to be here wherever I am.
It was good to speak with you too. So, all right, take care, and we'll be speaking with you soon.
Bye.
Bye.